Boating is often associated with relaxation, adventure, and the serenity of the open water. However, the potential for disaster is ever present, and throughout history, there have been numerous tragic boating accidents that have resulted in significant loss of life and property. Here, we delve into the 10 worst boating accidents, exploring the causes, consequences, and lessons learned from each harrowing event. Number 10. The sinking of the MV Dona Paz, 1987. The MV Dona Paz, a passenger ferry sailing from Leyte Island to Manila, collided with the oil tanker MT Vector on December 20, 1987, in the Tablas Strait, Philippines. The collision ignited the 8,800 barrels of gasoline and other petroleum products on the Vector, causing a massive fire that quickly engulfed both vessels. This, overcrowded with passengers far exceeding its official capacity, sank within minutes. The disaster claimed the lives of more than 4,300 people, making it the deadliest peacetime maritime disaster in history. Survivors recounted the chaos and lack of life-saving equipment as many passengers were trapped inside the burning ferry. The tragedy highlighted severe deficiencies in maritime safety regulations and enforcement, leading to calls for stricter oversight and improvements in passenger ship safety standards in the Philippines. Number 9. The explosion of the U.S. Iowa, 1989. The U.S. Iowa, an iconic American battleship, suffered a catastrophic turret explosion on April 19, 1989, during a routine gunnery exercise off the coast of Puerto Rico. The explosion occurred in the ship's No. 2 turret, which housed the 16-inch guns, resulting in the deaths of 47 sailors. Initial investigations blamed the sailor for intentional misconduct, a conclusion later disputed and deemed unlikely. Subsequent investigations suggested that a powder bag mishap was the more probable cause of the explosion. The disaster underscored the dangers inherent in handling powerful naval weaponry and led to significant changes in safety protocols and procedures within the U.S. Navy. The incident remains one of the most tragic peacetime accidents in the history of the U.S. Navy, highlighting the critical importance of rigorous safety measures and thorough investigations in preventing such occurrences. Number 8. The sinking of the MS Estonia, 1994. The MS Estonia, a cruise ferry operating between Tallinn, Estonia, and Stockholm, Sweden, tragically sank on September 28, 1994, in the Baltic Sea. The disaster occurred in rough seas when the ferry's bow door locks failed, allowing water to flood the car deck. Within an hour, the ship capsized and sank, leading to the deaths of 852 out of the 989 passengers and crew on board. The rapid sinking left little time for evacuation, and many passengers were trapped inside the ship. The tragedy highlighted significant safety deficiencies in passenger ferry operations and led to major changes in maritime safety regulations, particularly for roll-on and roll-off ferries. The sinking of the MS Estonia remains one of the deadliest maritime disasters in European waters and a somber reminder of the importance of stringent safety measures and effective emergency response plans. Number 7. The collision of the RMS Empress of Ireland, 1914. On May 29, 1914, the RMS Empress of Ireland, a Canadian ocean liner, collided with the Norwegian coal ship SS Storstad in the foggy waters of the St. Lawrence River near Quebec, Canada. The collision occurred in thick fog, resulting in a massive breach on the Empress of Ireland's starboard side. Water flooded the ship, causing it to list heavily and sink within just 14 minutes. Out of the 1,477 passengers and crew aboard, 1,012 lost their lives, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters in Canadian history. The rapid sinking and the cold waters of the St. Lawrence River contributed to the high death toll. The disaster, overshadowed by the outbreak of World War just a few months later, underscored the importance of navigational safety and the need for improved emergency procedures on passenger vessels. Number 6. The sinking of the MV Lejula, 2002. The MV Lejula, a Senegalese government-owned ferry, capsized off the coast of the Gambia on September 26, 2002, due to severe overloading and poor weather conditions. The ferry, designed to carry around 580 passengers, was grossly overloaded with over 1,800 people on board, including passengers who were not officially registered. The vessel capsized in rough seas, resulting in the loss of approximately 1,863 lives, making it one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. Only about 64 survivors were rescued from the tragedy. The disaster exposed significant shortcomings in maritime oversight and safety regulations in Senegal, leading to widespread public outcry and demands for improved safety measures and accountability. The sinking of the MV Le Jula remains a somber reminder of the importance of adhering to safety regulations and the devastating consequences of neglecting them. Number 5. The explosion on the SS Grand Camp, 1947. The SS Grand Camp, a French cargo ship docked in Texas City, Texas, exploded on April 16, 1947, in what became one of the worst industrial disasters in U.S. history. The ship was loaded with approximately 2,300 tons of ammonium nitrate fertilizer, which is highly explosive under certain conditions. A fire broke out on board, and despite efforts to control it, the heat caused the ammonium nitrate to detonate. The resulting explosion killed approximately 581 people, injured thousands, and caused widespread destruction in Texas City, including significant damage to the Monsanto chemical plant and numerous other facilities and homes. The blast also triggered a chain reaction of additional explosions and fires, amplifying the devastation. This disaster highlighted the dangers of transporting and handling hazardous materials and led to stricter regulations and safety measures for the storage and shipment of explosive substances. Number 4. The sinking of the Titanic, 1912. The sinking of the RMS Titanic on its maiden voyage on April 15, 1912, is one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. The Titanic, deemed unsinkable, struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic Ocean, leading to the rapid flooding of its compartments. Despite having lifeboats for only about half of the 2,224 passengers and crew on board, the evacuation process was chaotic and poorly managed. As a result, more than 1,500 people lost their lives in the icy waters. The disaster was marked by inadequate safety measures, including the insufficient number of lifeboats and the failure to heed iceberg warnings. The sinking of the Titanic led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations, such as the establishment of the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, which mandated improved lifeboat provisions and continuous radio watches on ships. Number 3. The sinking of the SS Sultana, 1865. The SS Sultana, a Mississippi River steamboat, experienced a catastrophic boiler explosion on April 27, 1865, near Memphis, Tennessee. This tragedy occurred shortly after the end of the American Civil War, when the boat was grossly overloaded with approximately 2,400 passengers, mainly Union soldiers returning home. Designed to carry about 376 passengers, the severe overcrowding placed immense pressure on the vessel's aging boilers. The explosion resulted in the deaths of an estimated 1,168 people, making it the deadliest maritime disaster in U.S. history. The cause was later attributed to the combination of poorly maintained boilers and the excessive load. This disaster underscored the critical need for stringent safety regulations and proper maintenance of steam-powered vessels, leading to reforms in steamboat safety standards. Number 2. The sinking of the MV Wilhelm Gustloff, 1945. The MV Wilhelm Gustloff, a German military transport ship, met a tragic end on January 30, 1945, when it was torpedoed by the Soviet submarine S-13 in the Baltic Sea. At the time of its sinking, the ship was carrying over 10,000 people, including civilians, wounded soldiers, and crew, all fleeing the advancing Soviet forces during the final stages of World War II. The torpedoes caused the ship to sink rapidly in the icy waters, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 9,400 people, making it the largest loss of life in a single ship sinking in history. This catastrophic event highlighted the dire consequences of war and the perilous conditions for refugees and military personnel alike during wartime evacuations. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff remains one of the most tragic maritime disasters, reflecting the immense human cost of conflict. Number 1. The sinking of the RMS Lusitania, 1915. On May 7, 1915, this was a pivotal event during World War I. The British ocean liner, en route from New York to Liverpool, was torpedoed by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland. The attack caused the ship to sink in just 18 minutes, resulting in the deaths of 1,198 passengers and crew, including 128 Americans. The Lusitania was carrying civilians, making the attack highly controversial and generating international outrage. The tragedy was a significant factor in shifting public opinion in the United States against Germany, contributing to the U.S. entering the war 2 years later. The incident underscored the devastating impact of unrestricted submarine warfare and highlighted the vulnerability of civilian vessels during wartime. That's all for today's video. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, and share to help spread awareness. Thank you for watching.